Here's an orientation map of where we'll be traveling to Lake Titicaca. Welcome to Lake Titicaca. It's been a short plane ride from Cusco. I think you're really going to enjoy Lake Titicaca. We'll actually be staying in Puno, a city of about 100,000 people, right on the shores of the lake. And there's our guy. As always, it's great to see him. There's a little shot of the airport. And a quick 5-mile ride, and we're here at our hotel, which is right on the shores of Lake Titicaca. This is a glimpse of the lake from our hotel balcony. You can see the sun falling in the background behind the mountains. Here's nightfall. Quite spectacular. The time of year is November, which in South America is the opposite of North America, so actually it's spring, and it's maybe about 60 degrees, 65 degrees. Well, we've had a good night's rest, and we're going to take a boat ride out on the lake today. Here we are on the shores of the lake, and people are going back and forth for work into Puno. This is the boat we'll be taking. Our captain is showing us where we'll be going on the lake today. We're going to visit a few islands. They say the fishing is very good on Lake Titicaca. As you can see, the islands are made up mainly of reeds, which are indigenous to the lake area. The population is mainly made up of Uros Indians, who are pre-Incan people. Well, let's get on one of these islands and see what it's all about. We're learning about how they construct the island, mainly of these reeds, and they use every part of this reed. And the best part about the reeds is that they're edible. This is one of the homes where someone lives. And look at this. They've even got television. This is actually running on that battery underneath. Now, how the heck do they charge a battery way out here, you wonder? Well, I'm going to show you. Solar panels. And these islands are pretty stable. They're about 2 meters or 6 feet thick. This is some bait that they use. They dry fish and birds, and they use them for baits. Just flick a little piece off. Take it right over here to our man-made fishing hole, right in the center of the island.
You can see the roots under the water.
These fish, I believe, are too small to eat. They're probably using them for bait.
Yeah.
These boats are made entirely of reeds. Incidentally, these islands last about 30 years, and then they need to be redone completely. But they are constant maintenance in the meantime. We're going to go visit another island. Now that's a nice boat. Welcome. Here's the public telephone. And these are hotel rooms. Do you see the 8 right above the door? Looks nice and cozy to me. I'll have my regular room, please. The Mini Mart is stocked with all your favorites. Coca-Cola, chips, Mountain Dew. They've got all the good stuff. Let me tell you a little bit about Lake Titicaca. It is located on the border of Peru and Bolivia, and it sits 12,500 feet above sea level. By volume of water, it is the largest lake in South America. The lake has 42 islands, some of which are densely populated. The overall average depth of the lake is 350 feet. Lake Titicaca is fed by rainfall and meltwater from glaciers. And we are pulling up to Tequil. Tequil is a hilly island located approximately 20 miles east of Puno. The island is narrow and long and was once used as a prison during the Spanish colonization. Here's a peasant bringing reeds up to the top of the island. We'll be following him all the way to the top. I hear there's a wonderful restaurant up there. Let's get going. Oh yes, and they do lunch in Tequil. Come on, let's get going. We've got reservations. It's certainly a hot day for climbing up this long set of stairs. And looky here, some peasant girls selling coca leaves to help with our altitude sickness. Well, we've now run into some farmers. You can see that the oxen are pulling a groove in the ground, and the women are following behind, and they're putting seed. Now this is a perfect Kodak moment. A red-dressed peasant girl coming down an S-shaped runway. Well, we finally reached the top of the hill, and here we are in the town square. We've quickly made some friends, and we're handing out pencils and pads of paper, which we've brought along as gifts. As you can see, our list of friends is growing. Even the grown-ups are getting in on the fun. Pick up soccer, anyone? As in all parts of Peru, soccer is very popular here. And we finally made it to our restaurant. We should wash our hands before lunch because it's been a very dusty journey. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fresh caught fish right from Lake Titicaca. Doesn't get much better than that. And what a view. And of course we have to have some coca tea to relax after lunch.
Coca and ammonia tea. We got to come back.
The Incas revered the coca plant as being sacred and magical. Its leaves were used in moderate amounts to lessen hunger and pain during work, but were used mostly for religious and health purposes. And now it's time for us to begin heading back to the boat. This is a nice family of children we've run into on the way down the hillside. As we can see, they still do their wash the old-fashioned way. Well, we're back on the boat. We'll be overtaking this pleasant little sailboat, so get ready to wave. There we go. Well, we're back at our hotel room, and this is what it looks like out front. We can see we've got some fishermen in the background. There's always some kind of activity happening here at the lake. This looks like a charter boat of some sort. Maybe bringing workers into Puno or taking them back home. And look at these little guys playing. They certainly look like they're having fun. I don't believe they're even aware that we're here. We're going to spend our last day at Lake Titicaca in Puno. It just so happens that today is November 2nd, which is known as All Souls Day, and it specifically commemorates the departed faithful who have not yet been purified and reached heaven. Here our guide, Ricardo, is buying a wreath, and we're going to place it at his grandmother's grave. As we make our way to our final destination, we're going through the marketplace in Puno. As always, there's quite a bit of hustle and bustle. There seems to be plenty of everything. And here Ricardo has decided that he'd like to also place a rose at his grandmother's grave. As you can see, everybody's out in force. This is probably one of the biggest holidays of the year. And this is the entrance to the cemetery. Most of the graves seem to be above ground in little caves with covers on them. You can see there's quite a bit of festivities already going on. Ricardo has paid this young man to take the rose as well as the wreath and place them at his grandmother's grave. A little bit more to the left. There you go. Alright, and we've paid this gentleman. He's throwing a little bit of beer, which we'll talk about later, up to the grave, which is inviting the deceased to join us in a beer. This is a celebration, you know. And here's a gentleman praying. And he's for hire as well. You can see there's a heck of a lot of activity going on here today. And here's an explanation by Ricardo of what throwing the beer at the grave means.
And when you drop the beer like this, you have to make the people who is dead drink. So every time that you just drop the beer very strong, it's because the people who is dead is going to drink that.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course we need to stop to say a little prayer in church. And now we've covered all the bases, and let the party begin. And of course we've got to have something to eat. Well, we've left the cemetery and we've made our way to our rooms, and we are now saying goodbye to Lake Titicaca. What a beautiful view from up here on top of the mountain. And here we are at the airport, and we'll be boarding very shortly. Thank you for watching, and please join us on our next adventure.